Good morning. It's Fish, the Beach Bum Investor, with your cryptocurrency discussion and report for 27th of October 2017. I'm going to jump over and post this up on Statement and Discord just to let everyone know the conversation started. Bear with me for just a moment. 24 hours, as always, in the economy. Bitcoin's been really resilient, popping up towards that $6,000 mark and getting bought up quickly when it dipped again. It's been good to see. Today we're going to have a look at ChainLink. It's one that I actually said I'd do within 48 hours, and I'm late, but so be it. So just bear with me a moment. I'm posting this up, the link now. Hey dog, first today. I'm good, man. How are you? I just been out surfing this morning, training for this competition I got coming up. I was surfing good. Heads up to the boys that I'm coming up against down at the comp at Port Macquarie. Gonna tear you up. Rode with my nice new branding on my board today. Must have helped because I was felt good in the surf today. What's up, GB Capital? I'm just posting up in Discord and stuff, man. Just bear with me 2 secs, then I'll get to the chat. The old do. All right, cool. Posted there. Going to Discord, Crypto Chat. I am live. All right, cool. That should get everyone over for the convo. And now I'll get back into the convo myself. Getting so good at this, it only takes me 5 minutes to start up the show, just to set up the show. And there we are. Good to see you all in the chat. How are you, Agent Smith? Yep, laughing at me as always. G'day, Grinkers. Yeah, ChainLink's pretty cheap. I thought that as well, GB Capital. Hey, Acu5, how you doing, man? It's good to see everyone in the chat. Nice and early today. You all beat me to it. Not that that's hard with how long it's taken me to set up these days. When I get a chance, text you on Twitter. No worries, Doug. I've got to jump down to the bank at Tugan after this because Tanya needs some money for her rental car because she's over in Phillip Island competing for PIVX in a surfing comp, WQS event actually, World Qualifying Series. So good luck to Tanya O'Meara competing this weekend and bring it home for the PIVX team, and hopefully we can keep stacking up those points and get you on the world tour. But yeah, A-Dog, I'll definitely give you a text. It'll be a bit later on, man, so you might be asleep tonight though. Okay. All right. Yeah, so one that I had a look at overnight, and I think there's already enough people in the discussion to have a look at it. GB Capital is one of the people who mentioned ChainLink. GB, I see you're in the chat there, man. If you want to come on the show today, you're welcome to have your comments on ChainLink. I know I didn't really advise you for it. I've certainly got my own thoughts on it. And I've done a little bit of research, which I'm going to read out to you. It took me a couple of hours to actually research this one this morning. It was quite complex. And the white paper was it was pretty, it takes a lot to get your head around it, to be honest. It was Q5 again with the Bitcoin jokes. Come on, dude. You like the sticker? I thought it came up pretty good, man. I went out for a ride this morning and it stayed on beautifully. So I think that gave me the added balance I needed. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, cool. I'll get the link up for you, GB Capital. Come on the show. That'd be good, man. I know you've had a look at this one, so I'll get your opinion on it as well. I've got quite a lot of notes I'd like to read out on it because it was a complex white paper, and I've taken some of the most important parts I've seen from that white paper, and I want to share that with you. And I'm just going to concentrate now on getting this link to GB Capital because, as you know, that takes pretty much all my mental power. Anyone else who would like to join who actually has done some research on ChainLink is welcome to come and give their opinions as usual. And anyone who just wants to, we'll probably, we'll be discussing other stuff as well. But we will spend this first segment on ChainLink and then we'll get on to some other stuff. So I'll just pop this invite up. So bad. This one? Yeah. Hey, Ethercept. Yeah, man, you got to dig into those white papers, bro. ChainLink was a two-hour endeavor for me at least. I'm estimating 2 hours. It might have been 2.5. But you got to do your research, man. That's where it's going to win. Hey Z, welcome to the chat, bro. Didn't see you there. Yeah, so there's the Hangouts link for you, GB, if you want to come in for a chat today. I think it'd be good because I know you've done some research on this. I mean, yeah, that's fine, AccuFive. If you haven't researched this one, man, you come in on ones that you know about. That's all good. You're welcome to come in for a bit more of a chat later on. That's no problems. But we'll stick with, hey, Bob Jack. Morning here, bro. Late morning. So good morning. Good morning to you too, sir. All righty. I think we've got someone else in the chat already. Now, drag this chat.
Fish, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I'm just trying to.
Oh, nice one, mate. Nice one.
I'm just trying to get this chat over. No, I don't know how to do it. We're going to go sans chat again. Good to see you. Good to see you, mate. It's a nice photo you've got there for your avatar too.
Yeah, that's. I don't even know how I found this actually. I think I was just watching too many conspiracy theories, I guess.
Yeah.
But interesting just watching them on YouTube. It's funny. Yeah. So what's been happening today in crypto world?
Well, I've been just taking a brief look at the markets because I really was studying hard on ChainLink this morning, and then I had to surf. So
Yeah.
I haven't really had a look at the wider market. All I saw was the Bitcoin sort of peaking up towards $6,000 a couple of times. And yeah, the rest of the market seems fairly steady, you know, bits of green and bits of red. I haven't had a real close look at it at this stage. I plan to do that after we've covered ChainLink, just do it live on the show. I know the price is pretty well by this point, so I can tell whether it's had a run up or a retracement anyway.
Yeah, sure. We've definitely seen some reds lately. I mean, I'm holding Link off at the moment. Unfortunately, I didn't buy it at the right time, but I still believe in the project. I mean, the fundamentals of it is pretty good, and it's a first as well, just like Ethereum was with the whole smart contract thing. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, well, the way I see it is they're really looking at the next step in smart contracts in terms of what data do we need from outside of the blockchain to be collected to enact or to continue with these smart contracts in more real world situations. That's kind of if I was to break it down, that's kind of what I was saying, and that's what I would summarize ChainLink as. It's certainly an ambitious project, and they actually even they acknowledge some of the challenges that they're going to have in achieving this in the actual white paper itself, which I think is really responsible. They haven't just focused on, oh, we're just going to do this and this. They've said, look, there are going to be some challenges, and these are them. So yeah, I thought the white paper was quite balanced, and I enjoyed researching the project. It took a lot of mind control to get around. It was a complex white paper.
Exactly. I also had to think twice because it's not just another coin or another token. It's obviously it's a middleware, so it's very new. But yeah,
I mean, it makes sense to me. There are going to be certain situations where data collection is required off chain, and using a third party. Now, traditionally, that third party has had to be a centralized figure, and this is a proposal to make that process decentralized. Is that how you're reading? Is that what you're saying? I guess what I talk about is value proposition. So is that what you're saying, the value or major value proposition of ChainLink?
Well, yeah, essentially, because the smart contract creates such, a trustless network. Like it's great, man. Actually, just looking on ChainLink, it's just how to actually linking everything up together on and off blockchain. Technology, nothing can so far achieve this. Like with the Ripple, you get the benefits, but you have to compromise your whole banking system. And obviously with ChainLink, you could just literally link onto any of the networks. There's Hyperledger, obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, Neo, Quantum. So it's all possible with ChainLink, and that's it's just the possibilities in the long term, not necessarily tomorrow, but just how if you can achieve like the ripple effect and the banks not to use that, change the system, which they by the way didn't change for the past 40 years. You know, if they can just use the same old thing and achieve the new great effects of crypto, man, that'll be really sick to at least watch.
Yeah, look, I think the project's certainly got merit. Again, it is venture capital stage. People have to realize that with most of these projects that we're investing in the crypto economy. Yeah, I saw some, I'll go through some of the basics. One of the basics is that the circulating supply is currently, I think it's at 350 million off the top of my head. I'll just check that on CoinMarketCap, and its eventual supply is going to be 1 billion coins. So there's quite a lot of inflation still to come in Chainlink. 350 circulating supply. So that would have been the 350 million coins that were released at ICO. Am I right in saying that? Is that how you're reading the market there?
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, there's still a lot for to actually keep the ecosystem, you know, going, and obviously the business advisors have a stake as well.
Off the top of my head, it was 30% set aside to actually continue to reinvest into Chainlink itself and the ecosystem. That's how I read it. So that's a really good figure of, you know, reinvesting back into the company itself.
Yeah, Sherman, just like you said, competition is healthy in most of the cases, and on some level anyway. You know, just to get this system going, you definitely will need something, you know, to make it worthwhile for these people running these nodes. I mean, I'm not too big on the nodes and how it works. I think there's other people to explain it better. But, you know, just the fundamental of the project is pretty good. And, you know, when I actually stumbled upon, you know, how to read these 350 million tokens and 1 million back, you know, I was like, okay, well, to be fair, like, you know, I've seen better ones before, promising ones before, but I've read this article about how a VC fund investing in this, and just because of the fundamentals, just like you were saying before, that's literally what was going through my head. You know, people are in this to find the next big thing, and you know, when a VC, you know, backs a project, that's, you know, that's a pretty good sign, right? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I can certainly see merit in it. I was trying to put some valuations on it, and my thoughts are that if they're successful, you know, a conservative estimate would get it to $1 a token. I think the current price, yeah, 23 cents. So I said it as current, where it's currently at. I sort of think it's still 10 to 20% undervalued. But long term, you could certainly be looking at $1 a coin plus on this project if successful. You know, that's the thing people have to realize with venture capital. It's named venture capital for a reason. It's early stages, high risk, high reward. That's the game we're in with pretty much the entire crypto economy and even Bitcoin itself.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, it's actually, you know, with Chainlink, it's also funny because people get these valuations out of thin air, like literally, because it's never ever happened before. Nobody can really put a price on it. We just know it's going to be big. If you look at how Swift, you know, processes $6 trillion in transaction a day, you know, if the banks or the supposed Swift partners will actually have to invest in, you know, Chainlink to use it, then we will get some of that share sooner or later. That $6 trillion a day will not penetrate it all the way, but if we can get some exposure for it in the long term, that's gonna you know, get the prices up as well. But
yeah,
it's obviously
they were looking at doing things with Swift, with banks, with PayPal. There's some ambitious targets for the team, but they really have thought about what smart contracts need to go to the next level. If you don't mind, GB Capital, I'm actually just going to read out now a few of the actual notes that I wrote. It is a little bit like it. I had to take a lot out of this, man, because as you know, it's quite a intense project and an intense white paper. So you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. But if you want to interrupt at any stage and comment on what I'm saying, please feel free to do so.
Yeah,
just
cool.
sort of the research paper that I put together on Chainlink and got some of the ideas off the white paper, both good and bad. And that'll help, you know, me. You're already invested, so it'll help me and the viewers too. to decide whether we want to invest in this project as well. So I've just put here the title, ChainLink, the world's first decentralized Oracle network. So that's based, I think that's actually how they're tagging it as well. I've just got the notes off here, so I'll read what I have. Unfortunately, because of their underlying consensus protocols, the blockchains on which smart contracts run cannot support native communication with external systems. Today, the solution to this problem is to introduce new functionality called an oracle that provides connectivity to the outside world. Existing oracles are centralized service. Any smart contract using such service has a single point of failure, making it no more secure than a traditional centrally run digital agreement. We present both a simple on-chain contract data aggregation system and a more efficient off-chain consensus mechanism. Historically, contracts embodied in code have run in a centralized manner that leaves them subject to alteration, termination, and even a deletion by a privileged party. The powerful new trust model that smart contracts embody, though, introduces a new technical challenge, connectivity. So I'm just going to pause there and just say I think that's they have actually identified an issue with blockchain as it's being run at the moment in connectivity with the outside world or the traditional. It's
not easy, man. It's definitely a problem. It's definitely a problem. If it was easy, we would see a lot more money flow into crypto, but you've seen the market yourself. The overall market cap is just general, normal people's most, the most money hasn't even touched the surface. It couldn't even come in yet. So yeah.
No, there's still. There's still. Realistically, that entire market cap of the crypto economy is laughable to major financial institutions and. People who trade on the stock market and fiat currencies and things like that. It's a laughable market cap. So we've still got a long, long way to go if we do achieve mass adoption in terms of the overall market cap price. So I'll keep going on this paper that I've sort of written, and most of this is actually exact quotes off the white paper, but it's just the important parts. I'm trying to sort of condense what was 40 pages into what I see is the most important parts. It is a good read, and if you really want to educate yourself, jump in there and go for it, but I had to read a lot of sections twice because
yeah, man, sure.
It was complex. Okay, what did I get up to? Making smart contracts externally aware, meaning capable of interacting with off-chain resources, is necessary if they're going to replace digital agreements in use today. The main use of smart contracts in Ethereum today is management of tokens, which are a common functionality in most smart contract networks. We believe that the current focus on tokens to the exclusion of many other possible applications is due to a lack of adequate Oracle services, a situation ChainLink specifically aims to remedy. ChainLink's ability to push data to APIs and various legacy systems on behalf of a smart contract permits the creation of externally aware tamper-proof contracts, which is pretty cool. I like that part. Where are we? ChainLink will be built on Ethereum, but we intend for it to support all leading smart contract networks for both off-chain and cross-chain interaction. So you're talking your Neos, your Lisks, your Rises, all those sorts of things, obviously.
Exactly.
In the future. So they're planning for that. Initially, it will only be Ethereum. Okay, moving on. ChainLink has on-chain component consisting of 3 main contracts: a reputation contract, an order matching contract, and an aggregate contract. And it goes through more detail of this in the white paper, but I've just... You've read that, man. It's intense, but I've summarized it as best as I could by quoting the white paper in summary. The on-chain workflow has 3 steps. 1, Oracle selection. 2, data reporting. 3, result aggregation. A supporting Oracle service must offer a level of security commensurate with that of the blockchain it supports. An Oracle 2 must therefore serve users as an effective, trusted third party, providing correct and timely responses with very high probability. The security of any system is only as strong as its weakest link. So a highly trustworthy oracle is required to preserve the trustworthiness of a well-engineered blockchain. I just thought that was, identifying the need, and potentially even, they talk a lot about potentially even the flaws of data being sort of all gathered from the one place, or potentially copying data. I forget what the actual term was, but they really do identify that and sort of talk about the ways they intend to battle that, which I thought was really, having the foresight of identifying the problems before they happen. We all know that prevention is better than cure, right? So I think that's good that they've looked at that. Yeah,
100%. I mean, you see the exchanges getting hacked, and obviously there are things that gets hacked in life. Obviously, see at Equifax as well. Also, just another sort of hack. Now, these data feeds, because there's a number of them, and you sort of just obviously get an average result. Whatever you can't really cheat this. You can't really bet against it. There's multiple data feeds going into one place. That's why the decentralized oracle system is key, because you're not just relying on Equifax to save my credit score, or I don't know, Mt. Gox to keep my Bitcoin. When they got hacked, it was gone, man. So you won't be able to actually do this with decentralized oracles, because it would be hard to bring it down. So that's why the smart contracts will be real smart contracts very soon. You'll just see industries get adapted to, like in the insurance sector, like just a smaller scale project, like how you can have an insurance product and it's automatic. You will never ever have to call anything, and whatever you've agreed, it's it's a yes or a no. I mean, I saw a lot of value for that industry, specifically for the insurance industry. It's just one simple idea, man. It's all money flowing to ChainLink, so it's great. Just like Confido project as well. I'm not sure if you heard. Well, obviously, I told you about that Confido project as well.
Yeah, I'm whitelisted for that.
Yeah, me too, man. For me, I'm November 6th. ICO stage 2.
Yeah, I think I'm at stage 2 as well. I've just got to I've got to check my emails on that one. I hadn't had anything last time I checked, but I believe it should be coming through.
Yeah,
in the next couple of
months. It should be there. It should be there.
All right, I'll have another look. But yeah, I'll keep going with ChainLink for now. I just got some other stuff that I've written here. Imagine that a trusted third party, an ideal entity or functionality that always carries out instructions faithfully to the letter, were tasked with running an oracle. Behavior of an ideal oracle is defined by steps 1, accept request; 2, obtain the data; 3, return data. Additionally, to protect confidentiality of a request upon decrypting it, Oracle never uses or reveals the data it contains except to query SRC. So I thought that was a key point. They're looking at protecting confidentiality. To protect confidentiality of REC, we can require that data in REC be encrypted under a public key belonging to an oracle. Continuing to leverage the trusted third-party nature of Oracle, we could then simply give Oracle the information flow constraint. Upon decrypting REC, never reveal or use data in REC except to query SRC. So yeah, that's the sort of it's not simple, but
it's not simple, man. I like I mean, obviously I could dig into all this even further if I really wanted to, because there's so much potential on the technical side as well. You can see how extra lengths they go just to make sure it's all secure, and it's a decentralized and trusted source. Sergey mentions it all the time in his interviews. He pays extra attention that's the only thing he really cares about, because as long as you can provide this data, this idea, then there will be no problem with literally executing very smart contracts Uh, just like what you can achieve only like on the Ethereum platform. Now, if you could achieve this in real life, imagine people, in the insurance sector just not selling products anymore because, because you've been replaced by a simple middleware, a blockchain middleware called ChainLink. It could happen in the end, because if you can automate, people answering the phones and going through any admin work, then who's going to work at the banks if it's all going to be automated? It makes you really think. Well, makes me think anyway. That's just the very big idea. What I mean, in the next few years, and 3 months in crypto is like a year anywhere else. And Swift is a great backing, for ChainLink, even if they're not officially announced anything. If you've tried to tell me just one better project that's backed by a bigger name, then that's great. But Swift is Swift is like the marketing person here. It's not ChainLink that's gonna speak. It's when Swift actually decides to let their banks use the system and so on. And when they announce names, that's when people actually will be convinced, and that's when you may see some real use cases, which will be great to just watch closely, because these are really smart contracts. That's basically me.
I think that summarizes it. I mean, to really make a contract smarter, you need more data than's available just in the contract itself. Like, there needs to be external data source to make that a really smart contract.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think it's certainly got potential. I want to clarify to everyone that again, it's VC, so it's potential. You're backing at the early stages. It's certainly not a completely proven concept yet. I say if they achieve this. So if they are able to achieve it, I think valuations are hard to come up with on this sort of stuff, because it's revolutionary technology.
Yeah,
it's achieved.
Exactly. That's why Ethereum got very big. Well, let's start with Bitcoin, decentralized currency, the first one. And obviously you got Ethereum, which basically just allowed things to happen, basically, because before Ethereum we didn't see it all that much anyway. But that's when you actually started money flowing in, and now we've got an answer for oracles, decentralized oracles, and that's a first as well. And the capabilities, the possibilities is just like as it was at Ethereum, or when it was at Bitcoin, or when it was at Neo, or whatever you want to go back, because it's literally that big of a change.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep reading out the last part of this positive stuff, and then I've got to get on to something that's a negative. And I'm not feeling bad about it, because it's something they identify in their white paper.
Yeah, so, nothing's guaranteed, mate. Nothing's guaranteed, but it just depends on the timescale, look, right? So
yeah, exactly. Let me just read the rest of this. The concept of a trusted third party is similar to the notion of any ideal functionality used to prove the security of cryptographic protocols in certain models. We can also model a blockchain in similar terms, conceptualizing it in terms of a trusted third party that maintains an ideal bulletin board. So that's sort of that's the last bit I had of the positives there. I just wanted to get in now to something that they openly identify as a negative, and well, let's say a challenge. So this is why the ideal oracle is hard to achieve. There is, of course, no perfectly trustworthy data source. Data may be benignly or maliciously corrupted due to faulty websites, cheating service providers, or honest mistakes. If SRC isn't trustworthy, then even the oracle does operate exactly like a trusted third party as instructed above. It still doesn't completely meet the notion of security we want. Given a faulty source SRC, the integrity property defined above no longer means that an oracle's answer is a correct one. If the true price of Intel is $40 and website Fount of Knowledge misreports it as $50, for example, then Oracle will send the incorrect value of $50 to users' smart contract. The problem is this problem is unavoidable when using a single source. Oracle simply has no way to know whether the answers provided to its queries are correct. A bigger issue, of course, is the fact that our trusted third party for Oracle is just an abstraction. No service provider is unconditionally trustworthy. Even the best intention may be buggy or hacked. So there is no way for a user or smart contract to have absolute assurance that a service of Oracle will carry out its instructions faithfully. ChainLink reasons about its security protocols in terms of this idea of functionality. The goal in ChainLink is to achieve a real-world system with properties as close as possible to those of Oracle under realistic trust assumptions. So I think they're admitting that no system is perfect. They're just saying that this one's it's going to be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's it's great.
But they do go on with a way that they tend to at least mitigate the potential for one faulty data feed to corrupt the entire process.
Exactly.
That's pretty interesting as well. I'll read this as quickly as I can. A simple way to deal with a faulty single source SRC is to obtain data from multiple sources, i.e. distribute the data source. A trustworthy Oracle can query collection of sources. I'll go through that because there's a bit of maths there. And then it gets quite complex, but it basically talks about the more sources that are actually used for the data that's trying to be obtained, the more accurate it's likely to be. So they talk about overcoming that to some degree by using multiple oracles, basically.
Yeah.
I think they've got some really good ideas. I think it's a complex white paper that took me about 2.5 hours to digest, and even then, I still felt like I could read it another 3 or 4 times and figure out some more stuff out of it. They've got some more stuff on medium-term strategies. I'll tell you what I might do. The best thing might be for me to do is I've got this research paper that's take me another half an hour to read the rest of it out. So the best thing to do is probably for me to pop my research paper up into the Discord group. That's kind of a 3-page summary of a 40-page white paper that I pulled out the important parts for people to try and understand the concept of ChainLink. So GB Capital, you're already invested. Do you mind if I ask you, and please feel free to say I'm not disclosing that, but do you mind if I ask you where you originally, like, where did you purchase, what price you got your ChainLink at?
Sure. I mean, I'm not, I think many people actually know that I'm holding back real hard actually, because obviously many of us got convinced that it's going to be a great project, which it was. And to be fair, there was twice that I could actually take profit from it, but I've totally missed it. I've got into this, I was convinced that more will come out from the Cybers conference. There's literally zero news ever since that original pump, when there was a chance to obviously sell it. But ever since then, there was zero news, so I'm holding hard. And BTC fork is not helping me either, but I didn't exactly work out, didn't really time it well whatsoever. If I would have just waited, let's say, 5 days or 7 days, as hard as that seems, I probably would be up, like, I don't know, man, like 3 times much. But I'm holding since about 7,600. So, man, I didn't sell, and it's a big amount of investment. So I have to look at it like an investor would. It's only real. You will get dips like in cryptocurrency, man. So if I would have just pulled out that money, maybe, if I don't short it correctly, I could have lost a lot of money. Not many people would have thought that this coin will actually go down to such low levels and stay down there. So that's we've been slaughtered, mate. That's all I can say. But fundamentals don't change, so I'm happy with it. Long term, I'm gonna hold it either way, as long as I can.
Yeah, cool. Are you active on the Slack group, or do they have a Slack group going for? I didn't check that actually.
Yeah, man, it's. I think it's closed off. It's only private now. The team just literally communicate now and then. They're really keeping this very quiet. Maybe because the product is just not quite there yet. That's what I've been reading about, but I don't want to assume the worst. Unless somebody says something, officially. like Swift, or if Sergey decides to, you know, say something in public at the DEF CON, which is actually next Thursday or Friday. I think it's on the 3rd when he speaks, next week at some point anyway. And he will only be there for 20 minutes, but another advisor is going to speak about, you know, something related, and then Vitor is going to finish that day off with a speech. I've been let down on conferences before, so I'm certainly, you know, not going to put any more money into it. I'm just, you know, holding my investment and just gonna see how the market reacts. Hopefully get some news, you know, don't keep us in the dark too long. Put some exchanges, you know. I've also read, not sure if anybody's interested by it, because these are some sort of rumors and speculation, but I think that's kind of fun. It's part of the game, right? But we're only on Binance and Ether Delta and another very small exchange. And on Ether Delta, no, like, people actually being scammed. It just came out on Twitter. And Ether Delta, you know, many people got their links stolen from Ether Delta. So it's only just Binance, but we've seen what they're keeping the price down, people not wanting the coin or whatever you want to believe. As soon as if you got put on, let's say, 2 more exchanges, that would at least give us some.
Isn't Link on Bittrex? No, it's not.
Oh no, mate. Nothing's confirmed. There's actually only 2 small, like, real exchanges. I think it's Google or something, and something else. They're that small. It's not going to add too much to the value. But what people's been speculating is just pretty much, if they are working with people like Swift and they are sort of in agreement with them and in contract with since 2016, because Swift is already paying the project since 2016. Although it's a fintech, and you know what, they, you know, banks do have visions, and you know and ChainLink is definitely helping them. So it's not really, you know, it's not really ChainLink's call. It's really Swift's call when they want to go big. You know what I mean? They've been working behind closed doors, and they didn't say anything. You know, a single tweet. You check Twitter feed, nothing. There's nothing. There's just basically some, you know, the community guy Rory on Twitter, Slack, just saying that, you know, he believes we'll expect some news, you know, before end of October. Like, that's why people have been dropping the coin so hard, because I don't know why they're just keeping us in the dark. You know, just relative. You know, if you compare it relatively, like, what is the amount of time people are willing to wait for the moon, right? And this, you know, if they're just impatient. And
the same thing happened with Komodo. The developers at Komodo went quiet for a bit because they were working on a bloody strategic alliance with days that's going to boost the share price like crazy. And they were, okay, we've got to work on this, we've got to work on this. They went quiet. I think they missed one deadline by a few days. And Komodo got up to below $1.
Demolished,
It was based off that. And then they came out at like literally 2 weeks later and go, we're still here. And by the way, bam, we've just had a partnership with Monese, and the share price just went, see you later. Never to come back to below $1 again, I wouldn't think. So, you know, I think that people are a little bit impatient in this space. I mean, of course. If I can take PIVX, for example, man, like, honestly, we had teething issues with the zero coin protocol implementation. First ever proof of stake coin to do it. And we've been dumped down to $3 because of a bloody teething issue. Now, if I want to show you something, I'll try and cover the balance here because I think that's a bit rude. But there's my PIVX wallet working, people.
Whoa.
Taking away, we've got 3.0.4 RC3 up and running. So I expect that little I to come off the Bittrex thing soon. And for the investors, maybe forgive us on that one, because we're breaking new territory, and that's comes with its own challenges, as a lot of these coins are finding. So my advice to anyone who's invested in a project, especially if they have a few teething issues, which I know we did with zero coin protocol implementation, and I also know that 10x had some issues with scalability, but this is VC, this is early adoption, this is what you put up with when you're getting in the early stages. That the reward is, if you pick the right teams, the right communities, and the right projects, you will be financially rewarded.
Exactly,
very, very well, as we've seen time and time again.
Yeah, 100%. Only the great visions and some good teams that are the teams that's going to make it, and there will be some change in the top 100. With the project after the fork, there will be money pumped only to the right ones. Because why don't print the coins that literally they barely move now? Because people really figure this out. Like, they don't just throw money at anything that's got a funny name or anything. It definitely changed. You can't be really bullish. You have to pick. You have to think twice. So definitely watch out, guys. Bitcoin holders, 100%. After this, when you pump back into alts, that's when the real growth going to happen. I think in the altcoin.
You've got to be selective. You've got to be selective with your coins. When I first got into the market, I wasn't. And I think there's that many good projects that you research one and go, oh, that sounds awesome. Don't come up with several that you're thinking of and just go, which 3 or 4 are the best. I think that a portfolio of somewhere between 7 to 10 cryptos is quite responsible, not like my 50 crypto monster list that I've got going. Crazy. Hey, what I was thinking is might just have a look at the market, but I might also jump over onto the chat for a bit and let
sure, man. Nice.
Come and see if I can do that. Otherwise, I'll just stay on the chat thing. So I'll mainly ask the question from people in the chat.
Yeah, sure, man.
Let's have a look. I'll see if I can actually drag this. Oh, can I? No, I can't. Sorry. Milo said, ha ha ha, 50 cryptos is like running a sports book. Tell me about it, man. I'm always that busy. Hey, you guys, if you've got any questions for GB Capital, please feel free to chuck them in the chat as well. GB Capital's here to discuss ChainLink with us today. It's one that he's invested in and had a good look into. A very complex white paper, which I will drop the summary of that over onto our Discord group. Just kind of like a fish notes, like cliff notes for the university students. This is fish notes, so the summarized version of a quite complex white paper. Pete just said, if you buy Bitcoin, it should double within a year. There's Cranky Pete's tip for today. Ethercept, Fish, I bought 1,000 PIVX just to support you. Oh, thanks, man. Staking it too. Yeah, bro. Look, I appreciate that, Ethercept. I really do, man. That's it's a lot of trust shown behind me and the team. Who have we got in the chat? Have we got someone coming live? Oh, no, that's you, is it, Bob?
Yeah. I say PIVX is your baby, is it? I don't know what's going on.
I'm back. Oh, you'll type? Okay. No worries. Don't know what happened there. Cool, cool. Well, I'm just going to bring up the chat for, I might bring up the chat on this computer, that way I can keep a track on it on here and still keep an eye on what's going on 2 screens. Fish just absolutely not having a clue with his tech today. Agent Smith, he says, who thinks we'll break the resistance at 6K on Bitcoin? That's a good question, man. Where are we sitting at the moment? Let's go and have a quick look. Let's have a look at the wider market. Just going to bring up coinmarketcap.com and all markets. We'll have a quick look. It's a good question, man. I love those sort of, what do you guys reckon, sort of questions. So at the moment, 5963, it is finding resistance at 6, isn't it? Like, it's dipped off there. Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night and had a quick check. You're just asking if PIVX is my baby? No, man. Well, it depends on how you look at it. I work with the community over there for sure, but no, I certainly wasn't the founder. But yeah, I do enjoy working with the team there, and I like the project. Let's have a look. Actually, I can have a quick look where PIVX is sitting. Skip down a couple. Let's tell you what, we've come a long way up in the market cap. We're at position 33 now. And just doing a quick update, $3.33, all the threes. Position 33, $3.33. So for those of you who like the number 3, maybe it's a great time to start buying PIVX. Look, I do expect that. I honestly do expect now the wallets are back up and running. I really think that as soon as Bittrex removes that little I, and same with Cryptopia, I think it's going to be good times. Jump in. Yeah, cool. Gotcha. Bob said sounds like a decent time to jump in. I think it is, guys, because I know that a lot of people don't know that. Again, I'll just try and hide balances, but I don't know that. I know, see when this I's here and you can't select PIVX. I know a lot of people think that you can't trade it when that happens. You can. So you go up to the top here at Bittrex, go up to the top here and then just go to B markets and then you just type in PIV to the search field and you can buy it. The trade volumes have dropped so dramatically that I have to believe that that is linked to a common misconception that you can't trade a coin when its wallet's under maintenance. You absolutely can. So you just need to jump in there and go to B markets, and you see there I've opened up again. I'm just trying to hide balances, but I've gone into B markets up the top and it drops down search field. Just type in PIV and then you can actually select the market. Go and do that now. And there's your market for PIV. Even on the fantastic internet that the government's provided us here within Australia. So you can see there after the dip, we've had a pretty good consolidation period. So the dip, you know, people weren't overly happy with the first implementation of zero coin protocol, and that's fair enough. We had work to do. We accept that. I still don't think reducing our share price down to $3 flat was warranted. So I picked some more up. So I've already had good gains on that. And I think when this comes out, yeah, it's a tough one, Bob. Bob's just asked the question. He said, I struggle to find any exchanges that sells everything. Is there any one exchange that sells everything? Look, I find Bittrex to have a lot of coins, like a really good selection. Yeah, I can't really answer that. I know that, like the main one I use is Bittrex because most of the coins I'm after are available on that. I also use Binance because there's a few coins on there that I'm after. And I use Cryptopia, and I'm looking at setting up YoBid because I want to show people the futures markets and explain to them about futures trading. So I'll be opening another, and I think I've got one other one, and I've got a bunch of wallets. So yeah, so I use a variety of exchanges, man. You got to work a little hard, Bob. I think the decentralized exchange movement will change that heavily. I think a lot of coins will be available, but in this early stage, you know, we take the highest risk and we have to work the hardest because we're here first. And as I said, we do get rewarded for it if it all plays out in the way we think it's going to. Yeah, cool. Let's have a look. I'm going back to the chat, guys, just to see that if there's any questions there that I've missed. Oh, there's a million. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I missed the chat, guys. Yeah, so there's plenty of questions there from the people. What I might do from now is just quickly go over the markets because we haven't actually had a look at prices and just see where we're sitting for the coins we've been keeping an eye on, mainly in the top 100 for us, but we do have a few lower market cap coins as well. So Bitcoin itself is at 5958, which is up 3.81% in the last 24 hours. Trade volumes are a little low, actually. They're around 3.3 billion going into the weekend. You'd always have to be aware of traders taking profit towards the weekend and going out and doing their thing on the weekend. So it can retrace. I always suggest to people the best time to get into the market is on Sunday afternoon. Tends to be, for me, your best time historically. It's not always the case. Every week's different, but I just find with the trade volumes dying off a little bit through Sundays, it can be a good time to get into the market historically. Ethereum's holding at that 298 mark. As I suggested yesterday, I don't think this time around it's going to dip all the way down to 280. I think it'll go up before it goes down. So I would say look for, you know, marks just before the 330 mark for it to hit resistance. Me, I don't really care because I'm bag holding it. I've got a bunch of ICOs I want to get into, and I know there's going to be more in the future, so I'm continuing to accumulate it. Ripple, don't care. Bitcoin Cash, don't care. It is up 2.12% somehow. Litecoin's getting really good buying at $55.97. Has actually even popped under 56. I think it could retrace all the way to $55. People do like to tend to use those round figures as support figures. So a lot of people will have their buy set at 55 flat, things like that. So I like to jump in a little earlier than that, and then I'll just keep hitting it if it goes down. So I'm starting to think buy time on, like I was starting to think buy time on Litecoin at 58. So buy time again for me at 55.97. Take $28. I'm going to look for further on that. I just am still, I'm bearish on Neo, unlike most people who are super bullish. I'm going contrarian on that one. I don't hold a lot, so it's really not, for me, I'm not keeping a close eye on it at the moment. I know Wilkie actually picked up more. He said, nah, 28's even too cheap. And remember, he picked it up at, I think it was $18 or $20 or somewhere around that mark. So he's made good money. And then he said, no, I'm staking it, I'm earning gas, and I'm going to go again. And he's hit it again. So just to let you all know, Wilkie the Whale chucked some more into Neo. He told me that. I won't tell you amounts, so I hope that's okay that I said that, Wilkie. What else have we got that I like? Omisco, OMG, it's pretty steady at 764. I still think it should be above that. Like even 25% above that, maybe a little more. Please make your own decisions. Lisk, it's $5. It's, you know, I said below $5 buy, so maybe look for a little bit more retracement on that. But that development package is coming out, rumored to be in December. If all goes well with that, I don't think you'll get the same. I don't think you'll get to buy it at $5 again. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting moves. Most of the rest of the market is fairly steady. 10x down 1.44% to 179. PIVX at 332. Komodo 181. Who keeps falling off the ladder? Is that? Oh no, that's my door. I'll go close it. Sorry. That's better now. I can even hear. Sorry, should have done it ages ago. Yeah, so I'm going to get back to the chat and just see what people want to talk about, because we've got about 5 minutes left and I want to open up the chat. So let's see it, guys. Chat away. GB Capital said November can't come quick enough for the odds. I think what GB Capital is suggesting there is that the altcoin market will benefit after the forking of B2X. I think he's sort of theorizing that people are wanting free B2X because it's going to be such a quality coin. Yeah, so that's an interesting comment. I think that's where a lot of the focus of the market is at the moment, is on these Bitcoin forks, and that's why I see Ethereum as good buying. Like as I've said, the Bitcoin forks are essentially, not essentially, they don't bring any value to Bitcoin, not to the core, the Bitcoin core, not to the original Bitcoin. They don't. They're just an altcoin. But Ethereum's fork is actually improving its scalability, security, moving to proof of stake. It's providing extra value to the Ethereum network. And yet we've factored in a price reduction on that. How does that make sense? Because they're not giving away free coins. Doesn't make any sense. So for me, I'm pretty bullish on Ethereum while everyone else is bearish on it. The only problem for me with Ethereum is that people will overreact to an ICO ban if that's what happens worldwide. They'll overreact and they won't understand that Ethereum still provides massive value as the platform to run ERC20 tokens. Whoever said ERC20 tokens have to be released at ICO? Who said that? No one. It's just been a trend. Doesn't mean they can't go straight to market. It doesn't mean venture capital can't be raised outside of ICO and then they go straight to market with coins. They can still use Ethereum. So I think, yeah, if they ban ICOs, everyone will go, oh, Ethereum's got to go down. And they'll probably be panic saying that that's when I'll swoop. That's when I'll buy the crap out of it. I didn't talk about Swarm Intelligence, Pete. I did all my research on ChainLink, and we did a massive segment on that, man. So you're welcome to go back and watch that in the replay. That took me about 2.5 hours to research. That white paper was an absolute, that was real intense, dude. So I've got a research paper for you guys too. I'll drop it over at Discord group. I might even be able to put a link to it somehow in the description part. Don't know, maybe we can try that. You reckon they'll move to Waves if ERC20's banned? Yeah, that could happen. I reckon Waves is pretty good value, actually, where it was sitting last time I checked. I think around 350. That was, I thought that was pretty good value. I got a Waves wallet. I got a few coins in there, actually. I hardly ever check the prices on them. I'm just bag holding a bunch of stuff. Not trading too heavily. So most of my stuff is in wallets, and I do recommend that, guys. Like, keep what you need to trade on. If you're a trader and you want to do some trading, that's not a bad thing. If you know how to trade. So if you do know how to trade, yeah, hit the exchanges, but always try and get your bag, like your long-term holds, back into a wallet for security. It's just safer, guys. Simple as that. We have seen exchanges hacked before, and I doubt we've seen the last exchange hack in the crypto economy. So I would strongly advise getting your coins into. Yeah, you can't. That's true. Xiao said you can't ban ERC20 tokens. I think what Milo was saying is that if ICOs are banned, then yeah, they could. Well, actually, they couldn't do an ICO on a Wave token then, because ICOs different to the actual token itself. So that's a valid point you're making there. Oh, Z, I'll call you after because I don't want to ask everyone. Or I'll text you or whatever. I just need to know what date of Sunday you were coming down, because I'm only here for this Sunday and then I'm off to Newcastle, man. I think our dates are not overlapping right again. If you're going to come down and come visit Casa to Fish and come on the show, I don't think I'll be here next Sunday. I'm going to Newcastle. Tanya's backing up Phillip Island with another WQS event at Newcastle, so I got to go down and support her. Oh yeah. Milo's just clarifying when he was saying before is the ICO ban. So it was the week after. Shivers. That sucks. We'll catch up soon anyway, bro. For sure. When am I in Newey, man? I'm down there for the WQS event, for the women's surfing event, supporting the PIVX surfer Tanya O'Meara. She's going to be down there for the weekend of the, let me check my dates. I'll be down in Newey from, I don't know, man, I'll probably head down like Thursday, like the second or third. I'll be down there till Sunday, Monday, depending on how Tanya goes. Well, she's going to win it, so I'll be there till the last day, cheering her on the whole way. Yeah, so I'll be there for that sort of time. Catch a chain up with the missus, man. Come watch the surfing. The women's surfing is next level these days. They are surfing so good, man. So good. It's very, very entertaining. Come and watch the surfing. Catch up with you at Newey. I'm not competing myself at Newey. I'm competing at Port Macquarie the week after. So at Newcastle, then Port Macquarie, and then I'm competing up at the Sunshine Coast the week after that. So that's my schedule for the next 3 weeks. Bondi, yeah, sweet. My brother's down Sydney way. He's in that area. Too far for Port Mac, yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Maybe Newey though. You're in Gosford, Pete? Oi, Pete, how's this? This is a bit of a diversion from the crypto chat, but to that dickhead at D-Bar this morning, you deserve this, mate. You're an idiot. Guy from the Central Coast, Pete, wants to give me crap about surfing on a bodyboard when I was born here and have surfed that break since I was 5 years old, and wanted to call me out, and the local boys were not very happy about that at all. Like I said, you can come to D-Bar and surf and there's no problems. Where it gets its reputation from is when you want to give a bodyboarder shit for being a bodyboarder. I told him to I said, mate, I chose to ride a bodyboard today. Give me your surfboard and I'll show you how to use it properly, you kook. Learn how to surf before you come out here and lip off. And guess where he was from? Central Coast. Naughty, naughty, naughty boy. He'd be very brave to come back to D-Bar. Anyway, let's get off of that because that's not so pleasant side of surfing. But yeah, it's a bit of a, you know, I don't like that bullshit. I went through the surfer bodyboard wars of the 90s and I ride surfboards and bodyboards. So everyone wanted to beat me up. I still do. Most punchable face on the Gold Coast. But still, it doesn't excuse someone making fun of me because I'm riding a bodyboard, especially when I'm tearing the balls off the waves way better than he was. Anyway. So, yeah. There's Haig dancing in the background.
Hey, go fish.
So, I'm going to check it out. It's been fun. Good crypto chat. Had a look at Link today. Hey, Pete, I'll get onto that swarm intelligence for you, man. Sorry, I didn't do that. I just ran out of time. It's been so hectic. Hey, we've got our new wallet though, Pete. I don't know if you're actually holding PIVX, bro, but our new wallet's out. 3.0.4 RC3. Ready to go. So hopefully that Bittrex little eye will come off in the next, I don't know, couple of days, 48 hours, I reckon. That's my guess. I'm not 100% on that. And I think when it does, we'll see good price action. Pete goes, oh yeah, that guy sounds like us. It's probably from the peninsula. Good on you, Pete. Oh man, I'm just the chiller in the surf. So when people have a go at me for no reason, like I give people a lot of space. I give a lot more waves to people. Like I'm friendly. I'm like, you go, mate, you go. It's all good, you know. And to get a guy give me crap because I've got a bodyboard when he can't even surf, clown. Anyway, I'm going to check out. Thanks for the crypto chat, guys. There's someone at my door. I'm going to peace out. Talk again tomorrow. See you later. Fish out. Okay, I'm coming.